Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here with my beauty budget low buy kind of update for 2022. Basically, I'm going to wrap up where I end up with my low buy. I'm going to cover everything that I brought in December, if I spent any more points and everything like that. I will be doing an introduction to my 2023 low buy in the next coming days, but I might brief over a little bit at the end of this video. Is kind of like what's gonna happen basically. But I've been doing these beauty budgets videos all year, so you probably already know what I'm gonna talk about. But before I jump into any of that, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you in the family. Let's jump into the video. So like I said, I've been doing this all year, but since we are doing the finale, I'm just going to go over the rules that I've had over the last year when it comes to my no buy. So this year I focus more on like a point system, very much inspired by Emily and Max. Also Steph from Is You Steph is doing the same kind of thing. I also seen other people do similar things, but those two are mainly the ones that inspired me first. And what I kind of structured, I mean, to be fair, I did do something similar to this way back when as well, like 2018 I think, when I first did my YouTube channel. If it wasn't 2019, I think it was 2018. Anyway, so inspiration comes from loads of different directions, but the rules that I had this year was basically I earned points through different ways, and with those points I could spend on different makeup items. So 1 point was usually one makeup item. I have a few more additional rules that I will cover, but that's kind of how I structured it. And the ways that I could earn points was either 2 empties equal 1 point. If I hit 5 pans, that was also 1 point. Same if I had 5 declutters, that was also a point. And I kept those kind of higher simply because I would much rather kind of focus on using up products than just decluttering. Because for example, if I was like struggling to finish something, instead of just like, you know, continuing on, I'm not saying like hate panning, but like if I was just struggling to like get through the last bit, instead of soldiering on and finishing that, I could just declutter it and I will be able to get the same point into my budget, if that makes sense. That's kind of why I kept the declutters at a higher number than the empties. Also 2 eyeshadow empties also equal 1 point. So for example, if I finished one single pan of eyeshadow in a palette, that goes into those eyeshadow empties rather than having to wait until the whole palette is done and then going into my makeup empties, if that makes sense. So those were the ways that I could earn points. And then when it comes to the points themselves, I had a couple more rules. Mainly that when it comes to single eyeshadows, because single eyeshadows, you know, I compared them to palettes. Like obviously, if you buy a palette, they normally have at least 10 plus shades in them anyway, at least usually the palettes that I buy. So what I decided to do was to count 10 singles as 1 point, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to like expand my eyeshadow single collection at all this past year if I had like one single being 1 point. So that's kind of how I structured it. Also I had a few rules that weren't like points equal this, which was that replacements does not count into the budget. Same thing with like gift with purchase or gift from friends. Things like that did not count either. For lip products specifically, I wanted at least 2 items out for every one that I brought in, which I have succeeded with, which is really good. And also I had max 3 blushes in my collection this year, because I have too many blushes. I'm trying to really lower that number down. I did declutter some this past year, but I'm really going to try to continue focusing on getting my blush numbers down because I have way too many. But those were my rules. Let's move on to where I was at the beginning of December. So after Black Friday and everything, I had 33 points earned total in the year. And when it comes to how many I have spent 31 of those points. So I was doing good. I wasn't over budget, which was really good. Especially I was worried because Black Friday came around and I had quite a few things that I wanted to pick up, but that is where I was. So I had 2 points left to spare at the beginning of December. And when it comes to December, let's just go through what I brought into my collection. So the first thing that I brought into my collection this past month was a mascara. This is the Maybelline Sky High mascara. It's one of my go-tos. This one, however, though, is a replacement. I actually used this one for the first time today, but since it was a replacement, I don't count any points for it. It's my go-to mascara. I really like it, but yeah, no points spent here, but I did bring it in last month. I did actually get 2 makeup gifts from my boyfriend's sister. So I actually did get one as my birthday present, which obviously my birthday was in November, but she lives up north. She lives a bit further away from me and I wasn't able to get it until December, so I did get 2 MAC highlighting kits from her, like palettes. The first one, which is one I got for my birthday, I got the Flashing Eyes Extra Dimension Skin Finish Trio in light, and this one looks like this. So that's the first one that I got. Again, no points spent because it was gifts. I'm actually wearing this one for the first time today. It is the highlighters I'm wearing. I'm wearing the pink one mixed with the white one, so the 2 smaller ones here. I'm using those 2 today, but that is the first thing that I got, the first palette from her. And then the second one, which is what I got for Christmas, is the Hyper Real Glow palette in the shade Get Lit. The shades in here are Like a Dream, Get Lit and Gleam Sheen, and this one looks like this. So that is a lot of highlighter being brought into my collection, and I have more, but yeah, those were gifts, and again, no points spent since they were gifts. Then last up for things that I brought in, again, was kind of, I don't know, I guess I did spend money on this, but I didn't buy them necessarily, so this is a bit of a grey zone, but I'm gonna count these as gift with purchase because these were the products that I got from my Cult Beauty advent calendar, and yeah, I got a few products to share, so I'm gonna go through those. The first thing that I got was the Laura Mercier Pure Canvas Primer. This is like a hydrating primer. I think this one is a mini looking from the size, but I got this one. I also got the Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Niacinamide Dew Drops. I think this is technically a skincare product, but I will use this as a primer. I wanted to try this for forever, but yeah, I just didn't get around to picking it up yet, but I now have a full size, this kind of mini, deluxe mini, which is 15 mils, and I also have like a really small mini as well. So definitely have quite a few to get through now, but yeah, I did get this one, which I'm really excited to play around with. Like I said, I did also get highlighters. I have 2 more highlighters that I got in my calendar. The first one is actually from Rowan, and I'm really excited because I never tried anything from Rowan. The quads from Rowan are obviously very famous, and I really want to try them at some point, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. But this is a highlighter stick. This is one of the Row Glow sticks, and this one is in the shade Glazed, which is a really light kind of, looks white, but it's like a white with, I think, a gold sparkle to it. Yeah, it just looks like this. I swatched it there on my hand. Again, I'm really excited to play around with this one, but yeah, I got this one in the advent calendar as well. I also did get some more liquid highlighter. This is from Pi, and this is the Impossible Glow highlighting drops, and this one is in the shade, does this have a shade name, or is it just one shade? I think it might be just one shade, you know. But yeah, I got these. I don't know if these are supposed to be more for your body, but I'm counting it because it's a liquid highlighter, and I might use it on my shoulders or something. I might look into the product more, but I counted it in here for now because I'm not quite sure what the use is for this, but that is the next thing that I got. We have 2 more things to go. The next one is a mini mascara. This is from Hourglass, and this is a really famous one. It is the Caution mascara. I know a lot of people love this one. Unfortunately, it isn't waterproof, and I always go for waterproof mascaras, but I can use this to layer with waterproof mascaras that I have, so that I can still get a use out of it, but that is the next one. Then probably the most exciting thing that I got in the advent calendar was actually a Charlotte Tilbury quad. This is one of her Exaggerize Bigger Brighter Eyes filter. I think filter is the name of the palette. This one looks like this on the inside. It's a very plain basic color story, but I want to play around with it. I swatched it, and the top 2 shimmers look very average. The topper shade looks really sparkly and nice, and I really like the tone of this matte, but I want to play around with it on my eyes. It might be a really nice small travel palette, or even have something, you know, to keep in my bag because it's so small and slim. I might be even put this in my handbag if I'm out and about and I want to like top off my makeup. But those were the things that I got in my Cult Beauty advent calendar, and again, I'm not counting points for these because I didn't pick these up myself. I did obviously buy the calendar, but you know, I feel like these are kind of more like gifts with purchase, if that makes sense. So those were actually all the things that I brought in December. I almost made a purchase yesterday, which was the 31st of December. I do want to pick up a couple things. I almost made an order from MAC. That's where I almost purchased from, and I was going to pick up 2 things from there. But so I think I might do that in January, but I I just felt like let's just wait. I done good in December. I said last update that I didn't think I would spend anything in December, so let's just keep to that. So that means that I'm still on 31 points spent. However, I did earn quite a few points. So in the past month I had 6 more makeup empties for a total of 33. So that is another 3 points there. I also had 1 more pan, which brought me to 48, which was no more points. But we also had 24 new makeup empties, which brings me to a total of 46, and that is 5 more points, which is really exciting. I also did have 1 more eyeshadow empty, which brought me to 12, which means that I had 1 more point there. So if all my calculations are right, I have 42 points total earned this year and 31 points spent, which means that I have 11 points to spare at the end of the year, which is really good. I didn't expect to have so many points like left over, and this is kind of where I'm gonna get into slightly my next year's low buys. So I'm gonna do something similar when it comes to a point system next year as well, and I might change some of the rules. I'm also gonna add in a big twist to my low buy, or no buy even, which I will share in that video. Again, my update or my introduction will be up in a couple of days. But the points that I have not spent this year will roll over to next year. When I started in 2022, I had 0 points. I didn't want to give myself an allowance. I wanted to earn every single point that I had to spend. But since I have so many points that I haven't spent this year, I'm gonna roll them over to next year just to give myself a bit of a head start. I've been really good in the last kind of couple of months not buying anything apart from Black Friday, but even then I didn't spend that much. So I'm gonna roll those points over, and yeah, I'm really excited about my next year's low buy. I think it's gonna be really good for me because of different reasons, but again, I'm gonna cover that in my introduction video. So that is my wrap up for my low buy of 2022. I really hope you loved following along this project, or this, I guess, beauty budget, and I really hope you're having a lovely day wherever you are, and I will catch you in my next one. Bye guys!